Here is your bingo card for this next post. You'll need it because several of these things will get said. This is Incelasaurus Lingo BINGO. All right, here's the post. So, a woman in the Tinder subreddit posted a screenshot of her conversation with this man that she met on Tinder. He said, "Did you have a nice weekend?" She said, "Yeah." He says, "I'm happy to hear that." She says, "I don't think we should see each other again. You suggested going back to my place, even though we've talked on length about the whole nookie thing. I'm not really into casual nookie." He says, "It's your call, but first, I didn't say we go to your place to have nookie. Didn't say that at all. Secondly, I don't like girls who make rules right off the bat on me because of their previous relationships or experience or I might call mistakes and apply that on me. I'm sorry. I'm a high value man, and if the other guys you had in the past were trash, I'm not. He's different, y'all. So again, up to you. I don't mind hanging out and seeing where things would go, but I would not allow you to manipulate me the way you want." And then she laughs and gives this thumbs up. And then he says, "Were you joking with me or what? I don't understand. I'm confused." Now, some of the bingo might come here in the text messages, but some of the bingos come in the comment section. So this person says, "This is a confusing conversation that doesn't have enough context. Why is he assuming things about your past?" And the OP says, "God knows. We never had any conversations about past experiences. He is just using these false assumptions to claim high value." And she's like, "Oh, I see. See, it's like, so he's crazy making stuff up in his head. I get it." Okay, so y'all see, the OP says that she did not tell him anything about exes or past experiences. He just brought that up himself. So you need to know that going forward because some of the other guys in the comment section start with the assumptions as well. This person says, "I literally had someone tell me the other day that he had a lot of pride and didn't want to be sleeping with a bunch of people, but because I had a past where I had slept with more than two other men, I shouldn't be entitled to ask him to wait to sleep with me. And the only thing I had to offer him was unlimited nookie whenever he wanted it on the first date." When we'd only had a couple of conversations beforehand, I told him lose my number and hung up on him, to which he messaged me and said it was disrespectful that I hung up on him. So I blocked him. And then the OP says, "Wow, some people really have the audacity to say such stuff. There should be a hotline to report at risk nookie offenders. I would expect such behaviors from teenagers, but it is horrifying when you see such an entitled, delusional adult." This person says, "I'm a high value man, gives me the same energy as my 7-year old telling me he's a dragon." Okay, bud, whatever you say. Now, this person, I effing love tits. He is an Incelasaurus. He is all in these comments and it's funny. He says, "That was lame, but everything else he said was spot on. And how he handled her telling him she didn't want to see him again was also solid. He put it out there and she replied with emojis because she didn't have to say. Putting rules on people based on stuff you wish you'd done with your shifty ex is corny. I told y'all they were going to be bringing up exes. She did not bring up exes." And then Palewood says, "It seems to look less solid when you look at OP explain. He had already pushed for going back to her house multiple times before, and at least one of those times for Nookie. I mean, we should give each other the benefit of the doubt for sure, but her response shouldn't come as a surprise to him if she's explicitly stated her boundaries before. I don't have the whole story, so I really don't care to back up this opinion." This person, to be honest, he has a valid point. Before going forward, a woman isn't obligated to give access to her body by any specific timetable. That's based on when she feels comfortable to do so and also has the desire to do so. By this woman placing arbitrary roles, though, and bluntly telling guy ain't happening, yet it basically tells the guy, "I don't want to sleep with you anytime soon and expect you to invest more time, money, and attention into me before I think about it. But I don't hold others to the same rules." Guys who have been around and are older know this is code for I set rules for betas while I bend and remove them for alphas. Sorry if this sounds crude, but it's a reality older guys have learned over time. Personal choice is totally yours. Women are the gatekeepers of sex and always will be. Just don't think the guy is a bad apple necessarily because he wants to cut his losses. Men's primary dating objective is to get some nookie ASAP and then determine if this is someone we want longer term for a long term relationship. Women's strategy is different. He got a vibe. This was going to be like pulling teeth, so bailed. She laughed and gave a thumbs up emoji. And then this person says, so why is your response or defense mechanism laughing at him when he respectfully replied, are you broken or something? Maybe you should work on yourself or learn to say no in the moment instead of ruining time together before it even happened. Woman. She laughed and gave the thumbs up emoji. So, how many squares did you get on your bingo card for this particular post? Make sure you let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, share. Folks wonder why me, as a married woman, why I don't push marriage so much. And I want to let folks know that I am not a relationship space. I'm not. I don't push. I'm not a relationship coach. I am not trying to push people towards marriage. I'm not trying to make women perfect so they'll be the perfect wives. I'm not. I want women to be happy, whole, and safe in whatever kind of situation they choose because not everybody wants to be married. But I do believe that society has created some like things to check off a list where you're not officially an adult and you haven't made it until you are a mother and a wife. And that pressure makes people desperate to get married and then it pushes them into sucky situations and then folks feel stuck. I don't want women to feel stuck because that is taxing on your mental health. Now, let's get into this Reddit. She says, do you feel that marriage is a con for some women? She is definitely, she's definitely on the other side and she ain't feeling it no more. She says, I feel that for me, getting married was the worst decision ever. Before marriage, my partner wasn't perfect, but he did more than half of the household chores. He said he was a feminist. He claimed he wanted a partnership and considered me to be his best friend. He echoed all of my thoughts on so many subjects. He did nice things for me, like driving me to my parents every weekend. He did all of the cooking. He paid half of the bills, and he made me laugh so much. He seemed to have good parenting ideas and told me he'd be happy being a stay-at-home dad so I could focus on my career. We got when we got married, we'd been together for 9 years and lived together for the vast majority of that time. I entered into marriage aware of his flaws, but I was totally blindsided by the abrupt change after marriage and kids as I got pregnant soon after getting married. And I'm doing this one because so many people act like you should have chose better, you should have vetted better. But how do you vet this when she has experienced all of these things where he was actually um, participating in the home life and doing things and backing things up for 9 years? Okay, to continue. Now I'm doing 100% of the cooking and housework while also working a lot more hours than him and paying all of the bills. I deal with 100% of the mental and practical load of the house and the children. He no longer drives, so I do all of the driving. He is rude and nasty and abusive. He's an alcoholic. He doesn't even speak to me or look at me and does everything he can to hurt me and make me suffer. He's a horrible, mean parent with no patience for the children. I honestly cannot remember the last time he ever made me laugh. It's like a switch flipped. I often see comments that women should vet men before marriage, and if they end up trapped with a bad guy, that's somehow their fault. But I feel like I was well and truly tricked into marrying someone who had pretended to be someone else for 9 years, only letting the mask slip once I was trapped. Anyone else have this experience? Basically, she just needs to divorce this man. Basically, this person says, get a divorce. You make most of the money, you do everything. He sounds like a dependent on you for everything. You're married to an abusive prick who contributes nothing but a little money and a whole lot of problems and heartache for you. Don't stay together for the kids. He's a horrible dad. He's a horrible husband. He's a pathetic man. Leave. You hold all the cards, play the hand. This person says, my wife went through a similar experience with her ex. Her biggest regret is that she tried to make it work, hoping he'd sober up, and just wasted several more years being miserable. And then this person says, talk to an attorney first. OP may be on the hook for alimony if she's the sole breadwinner. And then this person says, not if she plays her cards right and finds a good accountant and lawyer. There are ways to protect your assets without setting off proverbial red flags. I work in auditing and financial services industry. So let's just say I know a thing or two about evidence and documentation. I left my abusive, soon to be ex husband 4 months ago. He was also an alcoholic deadbeat who refused to maintain gainful employment. Even while I was undergoing chemotherapy, monthly immunotherapy infusions, and countless surgeries for my medical condition. I spent a decade doing all of the things and finally got fed up and left 4 months ago. Thankfully, we didn't have children. I earned 6 figures and out earned him by $50,000. I walked away with a clean deal, won't have to pay him a dime in alimony nor a penny out of my 401k. OP. I also recommend checking your employee benefits plan. These days, many companies offer access to cheap legal help through a network they partner with. You might be able to find more affordable legal help that way. So this person says, good for you. A lot depends on the state. Best of luck with your recovery. And she just said, thank you. And then this person says, to be clear, I'm absolutely not saying alimony shouldn't exist or there aren't times where it's extremely justified. For example, if somebody sacrifices their career to do the bulk of the homemaking and childcare, it makes perfect sense that they are entitled to alimony if the couple divorces later. But there are other stories, like potentially this one, where it seems to come off as the more someone took advantage of you, the more they're legally entitled to continue to take advantage of you. Absolutely. Alimony is there for a reason, to take care of people that had to sacrifice their jobs to stay at home, not just to pay somebody that doesn't want to work. And I'll end it with this one. Agreed. At this point, OP is basically a single mother already, except even worse to have someone treating her badly, living with her, and making her pay for his expenses and do his work. Definitely agreeing that a divorce would be best, both for her and the kid's sake. If he doesn't want a divorce, then he should not have become how he is. But as he puts in no effort to change, then he basically doesn't care about anyone but himself and is begging for a divorce. This person says, consider that your kids are seeing his behavior as normal and may model future relationships after you soon to be ex prick husband. I'm sorry, ex alcoholic prick husband. I apologize, I missed the word. So, absolutely, this is the reason why staying for the kids isn't the best thing. You do not want to set up their normal and their baseline in this way. This should not be normal at all. This is not healthy. You guys go ahead, chime in. What do you think about this one? Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Y'all, I saw the title of this and I clutched my pearls. Yes, I did. She says, being reprimanded in public. Are you a puppy? Are you a child? What is this? Okay, she says, lately my fiance what? Lately my fiance has been reprimanding and correcting me in public. He does it almost every time we go out, and I am mentally exhausted from having to act like nothing is wrong even though everyone hears it. When I try to confront him when I get home, he tells me one of three things. I don't remember, you're remembering it wrong, but was I not right? Yesterday, we were FaceTiming his cousin. I was so excited to see her, so I jumped into the conversation, and he tells me, don't cut people off, in the most serious and disgusted look. Other times, we are eating dinner with friends, and when I'm trying to tell a story, he jumps in and goes, you're such a bad storyteller, and continues to tell the story. I'm a med student, and my brother once asked me about his symptoms. My fiance jumps in and goes, she's not a doctor. I said, babe, I still know the answer. And he goes, "Do you have an MD next to your name?" No, then you're not a doctor. I've never felt so low, hurt, and frustrated. I want to call off this engagement. What do I do? You call off the engagement. You call off the engagement. He is attempting to set the precedent that he is going to control you by belittling and humiliating you. And this is a terrible start to a relationship. You are a grown woman, and this is terrible. Absolutely not. Cut this off. Do not get entangled financially with this person. It will end terribly wrong. He is jealous of what your potential is going upward, and he knows it. He already knows that your trajectory is going upward and onward, and he might not be in the same upward and onward path, and he is trying to cut down the self-esteem and self-confidence a little bit by a little bit with each of these comments. Absolutely not. It is a manipulation tactic. The red flags, they're flagged. Actually, I feel like a storm of red flags there is coming. There is a storm coming, and it's all the red flags that are waving. But let's see what some of the people say in the comments. This person says, "He clearly doesn't respect you. I would call it off ASAP." And this person says, "Not just this. He's trying to humiliate her and probably put her in her place. I'm sure he's intimidated and doesn't like her." This person says, "Him needing to be sure everyone knows she's not a doctor is definitely an inferiority complex. How's he going to feel when she actually is one and brings home a large paycheck?" Absolutely. This person says, "Dude is just such a peen, and I really think he is jealous of her career endeavors because her trajectory is up." Person says, "I bet he is intimidated by her, and when she does become a doctor and not just his missus, I bet the humiliation gets worse." And this person says, "Yep, OP, it sounds like your fiance is very insecure of how smart you are. So he has to try to bring you down to make himself feel superior and better. His behavior is abusive and will only escalate when you get married. If this is the way he behaves while he's supposed to be courting you, how do you think he'll act once you're married? He's trying to bring you down to elevate himself. Don't let him. You're worth way more than this, sis. Listen to all of the voices of the people on here with similar experiences. OP, he won't change. He's too insecure to be standing next to you." Great advice. I know that a lot of these Reddits are just break up with him, sis, but this why entangle yourself with this type of person any longer? It's only going to stress you out. This is terrible. This person says, "This OP, my daughter's long-term relationship ended up bailing on her when he realized how much more successful she will be than him. Currently, she's on a full ride as a PhD candidate at 26. She's dating a great guy who is also earning his PhD. He supports her endeavors and she supports his. You're a smart young woman. You know what you need to do. Someday you'll look back on this and be proud of yourself for putting your foot down." So people want to act like, you should just date who you want if he's a nice guy, but that niceness can turn to jealousy and envy when you are successful, your achievement level starts to go up. Absolutely not. No light bill Larrys, none of that, because they get jealous and insecure and they want to tack down your confidence level on your self-esteem because they are not doing, maybe they're not living their purpose. I honestly hope more mothers instill self-esteem, confidence, assertiveness into women, into our daughters, into our little cousins, into our little sisters, because this should be a no-go. You know, the first time or two, you might be able to write it off as a joke or something, but once we move into humiliating someone, then we should be crossing people off the list quickly. Walk away, run away. She's a runner, she's a track star. Get away from people like this. You just do not deserve to be attached to someone forever that's like this. Let's start pushing women and girls to have some collective self esteem to not accept this behavior as normal. Cross them off the list. Teach our daughters, our girls, better to just run away. It's not worth it. Having a relationship is not worth your self esteem and your self confidence. All right, jump in the comments. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.